welcome to Hooked on Rugby. My name is Mal Pope.
And I'm James Hook.
So James, 2 rounds have gone of the Six Nations. What are you feeling so far?
I think it's been really enjoyable. I think obviously the first weekend, the England-Ireland game was a heck of a game, and probably not a lot of people expected England to go to Ireland and win, but deservedly so. They did, and they carried that on against France. And albeit France haven't been at their best, England, some of the tries they scored in that second game, obviously they were tactically outthought as well, probably by Eddie Jones. Some great kicks to score, and it probably showed as well that you don't have to be a 9 or a 10 or a 15 to kick. You've got to kick now, whatever position you are across the back line. So I suppose any young kids out there who want to be an aspiring international back, make sure you can kick the ball, because it's so important.
I mean, they look incredibly powerful as well, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They got some big, strong boys in the team, and big players like Tuolangi and the Vunipola brothers have been carrying really hard for them, and they look really strong. So it's all set up for a big game against Wales. Okay, so Wales, the first game against France. I missed the first half. I didn't miss very much apparently, because it wasn't terrific. I got to see the second half, and it was an exciting game, but it was a little bit loose, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. It was quite wet out in Paris, but I think that first half was the best we've seen of the French so far, and that's pretty much all we've seen of them so far after that. But Wales done really well to come back. Probably a lot of mistakes by France, to be fair. Wales kicked really intelligently in that second half and deserved the win. And obviously they took it on against Italy. It wasn't a great performance against Italy. There was a lot of changes as well. Obviously Gatland said about making changes leading up to the World Cup, so that was important to breed some boys into that squad. But it's going to be a great game in Cardiff now against England, which everyone's looking forward to. A lot of changes in the Welsh team, and how unsettling is that? Because obviously everybody wants to come in, or they want to make an impression. Does it mean that people don't play quite so much for a team, that they're playing for themselves to show how great they are, and maybe push for a team place? Yeah, sometimes that's a danger, isn't it? I think like you say, you make so many changes and do combinations, and obviously with that England game coming up next, boys will have been thinking about playing well to get in contention for that game. So it is on your mind, and it probably did show a little bit, but I think the main thing is Wales won that game, like I say, albeit not convincingly, and they can look forward to the England game now. What about the Scots? Maybe haven't quite shown as much as we thought that they might have at the start of the Six Nations? Yeah, I think they obviously beat Italy quite well. Italy scored some nice tries towards the end of the game, but Scotland had that game wrapped up, and they'd have been disappointed not to beat Ireland, because they got a very good team there now. Some great players like Stuart Hogg, Blair Kinghorn, scored a hat-trick in the first game, and he was actually dropped for the second game, but after scoring a hat-trick, which is very unusual. But I think they're obviously a very good team, and I think we talk about Wales, England, and I think if England beat Wales in Cardiff, they're probably odds on for a Grand Slam. But if Wales win, people are talking about a Grand Slam decider. They've still got to go up to Scotland, and they've still got to play Ireland at home. So there's tough games all over the place. And I mean, the thing is, for a player, you score a hat-trick of tries, there's not a lot more you can do, but it's always in the hands of somebody else who picks the team, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. And you can only do what you can do, and you score a hat-trick, you think you're always on to start the next game, but he didn't start. He did come on in the end anyway, but I suppose he'll hope to get a start now in the next game, because Stuart Hogg is injured, which is a big loss for Scotland. He'll probably definitely miss the next game, so Blair Kinghorn will probably come back in there. Players who stood out for you so far, people who've really sort of made a name for themselves in the first 2 games? I think, you mentioned Blair Kinghorn. He's obviously made a name for himself. George North has been in great try-scoring form, and I think you can't look too far away from the England team. They've started so well, and Johnny May, another person to score a hat-trick last week against the French, and not just Johnny May. I mentioned Tuolangi coming back in after such a long break and making the impact he's made. Henry Slade has really impressed me for England, and it pains you to say England are doing really well at the moment. Tuolangi, why didn't he pull his socks up? I don't think he needs to, does he? I don't think he needs to. Yeah. Obviously, I wouldn't say that to him directly. If we were together, I wouldn't say, pull your socks up, mate. Yeah. But I mean, you faced guys of this size. They're like men mountain running at you. I mean, what do you do? How do you prepare yourself for that, physicality coming towards you? Yeah, it's so difficult. Some people enjoy it. Obviously, the big physical boys, the confrontation. But I think you just got to try and get yourself in front of him. But I think the good thing about Tuilagi is he's not just a direct runner. He's got a nice little step, and he's got some subtleties to his game as well. So it's not that easy. But I think when he's just running straight, you just got to try and get yourself in front of him and hope for the best.
Owen Farrell seems to be coming up trumps at the right time for England.
Yeah, Owen Farrell obviously. I didn't mention him just then, but he is probably the most consistent player probably in the world. He's right up there, and he never really makes a mistake, and his kicking is always spot on. And you talk about that England-France game, his kicking, his tactical kicking was right up there along with the rest of the back line, like we've mentioned. But yeah, he's one heck of a player, in fairness to him.
Yeah. You're in the middle of sort of training at the moment because there's Ospreys games coming up in between. What is this weekend like if you're in the national squad? Do you relax? Are you training? Is because of the nice time in Nice, they had a lovely time in Nice, didn't they?
Yeah.
I mean, what will they be doing this weekend? Both, all the teams really. Will they be going back to their clubs, or will they be staying together?
Yeah, I should imagine every team is different, but speaking from experience of the Welsh squad, you train, probably have a couple of days off at the start of the week, come in then towards the end of the week, probably do a little bit of fitness conditioning, probably quite tough training, and probably drip feed some tactics and things leading into obviously the England game. Prep yourself ready for the build up to the week. But yeah, they'll have a bit of rest and recovery, but not switch off too much because obviously there's a big game around the corner.
And all those games obviously are recorded, analysed. There's no more surprises, are there? Although every manager and every coach wants to come up with something unusual, but you'll be analysing every move, every player, all that type of thing?
Oh, 100%. And the analysis and coaches would have done that weeks ago probably, probably even before the start of the Six Nations, they would have picked out individuals, well, pretty much every single player in every squad, and, they'll have 5 or 6 points on each player. So, when you come up to the build-up to that week, you know your opponent inside out, and, there's a lot of work done on the laptops behind the scenes, and the players get their heads stuck in the laptops, and, it's from 20 years ago, the amount of work done off the pitch now is incredible, and obviously it shows on the pitch then.
So when you say your player, I mean, will there be one, will it be your opposite number, or how does that work in the information that you're given? Yeah,
obviously you look at all the team as a whole and the way they play and the type of style they play, but yeah, you look at your opposite number. Where if you're a 10, how he attacks the line, or if he doesn't attack the line, if he's what types of kicks he usually puts in, or little triggers you look for. So I think obviously looking ahead to the Wales-England game, Wales will be looking probably how to try and break this English defence down, because it's been so good. But you mentioned probably Tuilagi, how much of a threat he's been in attack. I think defensively, if you throw sort of 2-3 numbers at the line to him, you can sort of put him off guard a little bit, because he likes to make big hits. So maybe it's an opportunity there for Wales. And obviously we mentioned the kicking game, so for every single team the kicking game is big, but in this game against Wales-England it's going to be huge.
Okay, so we'll look ahead in a minute, but once again, we're going to give some stuff away to people who are going to subscribe to the YouTube channel. So if they go to hookedonrugby.co.uk and subscribe to the YouTube channel, they'll be in with a chance of winning. We better get another son to choose it this time. So I know we had a bit of bother last time. Harrison's he's already started in choosing the winners of the boots, and that's gone very well. And David's, I'm glad he's always enjoying the boots.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
So what are these? And this is something that you're involved with as well in another part of your life.
Yeah. So obviously this is PAS. Obviously everyone involved in Welsh rugby and probably rugby around the world, will know this is a sort of a protein supplement company. So started in 2006 and by John Williams and Darren Campbell, which a lot of people will know. So yeah, I had a chance to get involved with it from the start, and yeah, they very kindly donated some protein cookies and some flapjacks and things like that. So
in your diet, because obviously everything's measured these days when you're a player, aren't you? Everything's measured, and you can put this into a dietary plan and know where you stand.
Yeah, well, obviously little things like this, it's probably like snacks for after training or just before training. But yeah, these are all batch tested. So obviously for the professional athletes, like obviously boys in the Welsh squad, they need to be tested. So when you come to having a drugs test, it's all clean, and PAS is right up there with the best.
So we're going to give a couple of these boxes away. We've got a cookie, and we've got, this is like an oat bar, is it? Like a...
Yes, we've got protein cookies and protein flapjacks.
And these are going to be available nationwide?
Yeah, these launch in Starbucks actually across the UK, starting from next month, so March. So yeah, obviously done really well.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, so what we'd like you to do is to go to hookedonrugby.co.uk, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we'll give a pair of these away to, and we better get in a different son to pull him out of the hat this time.
Yeah,
we'll
get Ollie.
Get Ollie.
My middle son this time, so unless he eats him first.
We'll work our way through the family bit by bit. Okay. So then, to the next round, and everybody's getting ready, and all the preparations are being done. It's going to be a big week for Sean this week, isn't it, to get our defence, our attacking defence sorted out?
Oh, I think so, and I think probably, unusually for Wales, against Italy, probably leak some tries, which we're probably not used to leaking. Defence is so strong, and Sean Edwards has been a massive part of that since he started with Wales, and I think emotionally we're going to be right up there for the England game, and I mentioned sort of England's big ball carriers. They're going to be coming down the 10 channel and running hard. So we need to stop that and stop England getting any sort of momentum. The
star players for Wales, we mentioned George North in the first couple of games. That physicality it's really going to be very important, isn't it, against such a big England team. Who else? Jonathan Davis?
Oh, Jonathan Davis is a great player, and again, we talked about Owen Farrell being really consistent. Jonathan Davis falls into that bracket as well. He gives 100% every game and so consistent. But yeah, he's a big player for Wales, and Josh Adams has done really well on the wing as well, the other wing to George, and he's taken his his chance with both hands since he had it in the summer. Ian Williams again, so I think another opportunity. We talk about England's kicking. When they kick the Wales, I think we got a great back three there. We're going to attack the ball straight back at them, and hopefully we can create some chances there.
Pretty amazing seeing Alun Wyn Jones come on against Italy. He just pulls everything together, doesn't he? He just shuts it down and makes it so firm as a defence as well.
Yeah, Alun Wyn is obviously, his record speaks for itself, and he's a huge leader in that squad, and we're so lucky to have him in the Welsh squad. And you could see him after the Italy game. He came on for the last sort of half hour or so, whatever it was, and after the game, he was screaming and shouting at the boys. Obviously probably sort of saying something like, we've won the first two, now we've scraped through, albeit not really convincing, but there's a huge game to come, and the whole nation will be behind them.
Interesting, that Gatland says it's like we've forgotten to lose. Is that true in a team, do you think?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I think you understand what he's saying. I think losing becomes a habit, and I think winning can become a habit. And I've played in teams in the past where we haven't played well at all, but we still managed to find a way to win, and that's always good. It's always easier coming in on a Monday morning, analysing the game after you've won, as opposed to losing. So,
all right. So England-Wales. I'll come back to you with a prediction a little bit later. Of the other teams that are there, Ireland still have an awful lot to prove, don't they?
Yeah, they do. It would have hurt them heck of a lot losing to England at home first game up. Everyone sort of expected Ireland to win, but we said how good England were. But the way shows sign of a good team is how they bounce back and beat Scotland in Murrayfield, because like you say, Scotland were playing quite well, and the way they went about it, and they coached superbly well by Joe Smith, and they scored some really good tries there, and Jacob Stockdale on the wing is still scoring tries for fun, and like I say, Wales have still got to play Ireland at home, so don't write Ireland off the championship just yet.
I mean, you played a lot in France. Well, do you know the French players? Because are all the players imported these days? Is that the problem?
Yeah, it's difficult to put your finger on it. It's like I say, against Wales in that first half, in the first game, they were unbelievable, and what you usually associate with the French, great offloading, big ball carriers, and scoring some nice tries, but since that second half of the first game, and obviously pretty much the whole of the England game, they haven't looked great, to be fair.
So something for them to prove, and they'll be hurting. So we expect to see a better French side by the end of the tournament, or not?
I think everyone hopes so, because watching the France in that first half against Wales, they were unbelievable, and everyone wants to see that from the French, and that's what I think what frustrates people about France is how good their players are, what they can do, and I think people want to start seeing a bit more. That's all.
Italy, it is tough for Italy playing against these biggest sides, but still worthwhile having them in the competition.
I think they're doing okay, but I think everyone would like to see them improve a little bit more, but they're doing all right, and it's probably between France and Italy for the wooden spoon now, so it'll be interesting.
And that'll hurt? Oh,
it'll definitely hurt. Italy are quite used to winning the wooden spoon now, but it'll definitely hurt the French.
Scotland, where can this, because they were very, very not exactly favourites, but a lot of people fancied them to do some upsets. It hasn't quite worked out yet. It can only get better.
Yeah, I think they'd hope so. I think against Italy they were they were really good. You know, I got, like you say, great individual players. But against Ireland, you know, people would have expected probably Ireland to obviously come back and bounce back from that loss to England. But you know, they'd have been disappointed. You know, and losing Stuart Hogg is a massive loss to them. You know, they need him. When Scotland play well, he plays well, and you know, I think it's going to be a big disappointment losing him.
So to some predictions then. Wales against England, how's it going to work out? Who's going to win?
It's going to be really tough. I think everyone's saying how well England are playing and probably how poor Wales are playing. Wales are a great team, and you say how you know, they're on a record run of 11 games now, and like you say, they know how to win, and they're going to be a different team to the way they have been in the last 2 games. So I do think Wales will win. I do think Wales will win with the Cardiff factor. You know, how pumped up they're going to be. You know, they're going to be full of it, and I think, you know, they'll test England in probably ways they haven't been tested so far in the Six Nations. So yeah, I'm going for Wales win.
And the other teams, Ireland still to continue being successful?
Yeah, I think Ireland, you know, after that blip at the start, you know, they've pulled it back against Scotland. I think they'll just continue to grow, and like I say, don't write Ireland off at all. Yeah,
and which means that if Wales were to beat England, that game then becomes the decider instead.
Yeah, and obviously they've got to go to Scotland, like I say, as well. So Wales, you know, the next 3 games or the last 3 games of the competition are huge games. So, you know, obviously 1 game at a time, but yeah, I'm sure if they beat England, you know, hopefully the rest will take care of itself.
Great. And then after all of that, it's down to the World Cup. All this is like a precursor now, isn't it? I mean, there's definitely the World Cup is very much in people's minds.
Yeah, and obviously Gatland's shown that in his selection against Italy. He's looking at the big picture, and he's given boys opportunity against Italy, which come the World Cup time, he'll know, you know, if he can put them in or not, or whether he feels comfortable putting them in or not. And there's some good boys who showed up against Italy. You know, Owen Watkin in the centre wasn't had a lot of chances for Wales. You know, showed up really well. Ali Davis at 9. You know, Thomas Young as well, which, you know, hasn't had a lot of opportunity for Wales, playing unbelievable for Wasps. Showed up really well. So it's yeah, there's a lot of squad depth there in the Welsh squad.
Must be great for his dad, isn't it, for Dai Young to see his boy, having seen him, you know, run out when he was a kid with his dad. It was his dad's 50th cap, I think it was.
Yeah,
you know,
that's right.
You know, it's a family tradition, isn't it? And the whole family would have rejoiced with that.
Oh, of course he would have. Yeah, and obviously Dai Young is an incredible coach himself. So yeah, it would have been a proud moment for him and all his family.
Okay, so to predictions time. You've seen the teams all so far. Wooden spoon, who's going to win the wooden spoon?
I think obviously it'll be between Italy and France, and Italy play France in Italy. So I think it could be France, and yeah, it'll be a shame to see it, but I think it could be.
Could be a wake-up call as well for France, and an encouragement for Italy if that were to happen.
It'll certainly be an encouragement for Italy, but I think France have had a lot of wake-up calls and and haven't bounced back. So yeah, but you know, I think, like I say, apart from that first half, you know, they haven't shown anything really. So, but you know, hopefully they will improve, and you know, it might be a different story now next game.
And who's going to win the championship? Who's going to be the Six Nations champions? Do you think?
I think it's still really hard to tell. Obviously, England started so well, but this next round 3, will be a massive round, and go a long way to deciding who's going to win the championship. But yeah, I think after round 3, I'll probably be able to tell you.
Good. Okay. Well, thanks very much for joining us for Hooked on Rugby. You can also get this as an audio podcast on SoundCloud. And remember, if you do subscribe to the channel, or you're already subscribed to the channel, all the names will go into the hat, and it'll be Ollie who chooses who wins a pair of these are the goat bars, and we've got the protein chocolate cookies as well. Available soon in Starbucks right across the country. But thanks very much for joining us for
Hooked on Rugby.
Bread of heaven, bread of